Welcome to the Business Growth Spotlight, where we shine the light and talk with business leaders from all over the world who are sharing their expertise and wisdom so we can all grow together. I'm your host, Heidi Schalk, co-founder of HLH Growth Solutions. We support businesses in growing their visibility to scale their revenue using outside-of-the-box marketing strategies. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. We're excited to have you here. Stay to the end because we've got a great gift for you that we're going to be giving away to you as well. And without further ado, I'm excited to chat with my guest today, Mr. Adam Hocek with Aecho AI. So welcome, Adam, to the show.
Thank you, Heidi. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'm absolutely thrilled you're here and taking time out of your day to talk with us. So thank you for that. Adam, can you share with us a little bit about you, Aecho AI, and your role within it?
Sure. So a little bit about my own background. I'm a technical person by training, by my studies, worked a lot with speech. I had that from very early stages. Just to highlight, I worked on some of the early first, going way back in time, first voice activated synthesis commercial consumer products. I invented the first portable reading system for the visually impaired, which I'm very proud of, and had a big impact on the market, sold globally. I also worked on many other projects with voice, Arizona State voice, tourism and travel information, and other projects. Echo started, so I thought about it. How can we use speech? And early days, I was interested in emotions. How can we detect and predict the emotions that are coming out from when people speak? That evolved and that became Echo, which was not only emotions, but personality and traits of a person. And if we could detect them, then we could start looking into the soft skills and other areas. And that's where we went into HR, recruiting, as the first area for our technology. Not limited to it, but that's our beachhead for it.
Yeah, I like that you're starting somewhere because I think it's important when businesses start, they have a niche, whether it's serving a certain audience or it's with their with the product, the solution that their product solves, right? Provides, and the problem that you solve. So you're starting off with a niche HR, and just like you said, you serve others, but that's really where your focus is now. And I think that's a big gold nugget for companies who are starting. It's an important piece. We all kind of want to go broad quickly. And unfortunately, there's this saying that broad is broke and niche is richer. And it holds really, really true. So Adam, can you share with me, you mentioned soft skills. Why are soft skills so important in recruiting?
Well, I could throw some stats here just to put them out there. And then I'll talk more from a quality point of view. But about a third of new hires will leave within a year, 6 months to a year. And 90% of them is because they're not a good cultural fit to the company they're hired in. Either the demands, like it's a stressful job and they don't work well under stress, or vice versa. They might be more outward going or more creative and so on. So all these skills that one has should match up, because it's really all about both sides, the company and the job it needs to fulfill, but also the candidate. Do they feel it right? Will they fit in? Will they enjoy the work and stay? Big factors in the high turnover of employees. So that's what we're addressing really with the soft skills. And I'll just say what it really means is, what is the alternative? So typically people have to take, they call them inventories in the psychology world, basically surveys. And they could take as short as 15 minutes or over an hour, depending on which ones you do. And few companies like to do that because it's time consuming and tedious, but it's very important. So there are these skills. So what we do is we take the human voice, we can do it from 30 to 60 seconds of the voice, and we can make these determinations. all these personality traits and work style and behavior types of a person. We do over 180 just from that segment of speech. And then we use that to help match to what the company is looking for.
So can you share with us, can you describe the impact that AI has in recruiting and also the issues surrounding it?
Yeah, so Echo is just 4 years now. It's since it started. I would say a year ago, if that question was posed to me, it would be a completely different answer. It's just took off,
Yeah,
skyrocketed. AI with OpenAI and other things. It's just amazing. And I would almost say that new things are coming out every day, and it's really hard to keep track of it. The other scary part of it is I don't think people, companies have had a chance to digest and work with AI to really understand how they want to use it. It's still evolving. So I just say that. So the landscape is very different. I will say that what we do, we did even last year, we were doing psychological traits, and that's very unique. No one else is doing that. As far as I know, at the scale we're doing, I think we're unique so far. But AI is being used in other areas of the recruiting process. On one hand, it's scanning resumes and finding better candidates. That's helping the recruiters. Candidates are using it to help create better resumes and CVs on their skills and using AI. So it's becoming, I kind of call it a cat and mouse game because each is trying to fool the other into doing a better job. But it's at the end, we don't want the AI to hire AI. We want humans. They
right.
could use AI, but we still need the humans. So that's a big change. The other part that did we started doing, but the market also was at the same, we coincided with the market change, is conversational AI. AI is being used to converse, to ask the question. So that's yet another way. So it's for, as we uniquely do psychological traits, asking the right questions, following up, even assessing them on their hard skills, not only their soft skills, but questions. And so now a lot of the recruiter's process could be augmented with the aid of AI to
Mhm.
help with ask the right questions, make the right determinations, etc. So I'll leave it at that.
You mentioned conversational AI, so let's talk about that. How does
Yeah.
Echo's voice platform differentiate itself from other conversational AI or voice assistant solutions in the market?
Yeah. So from a standpoint of generating the voice and sounding human-like, even bringing some emotions to the voice, we're in the same field using probably similar technologies that all the players that are accomplishing this are doing. So we're no different in that. But what we are different in is our conversational AI is can listens to what the candidate asks for, looks at the job requirements, and then follows up with the next appropriate question. So we're not canned and fixed like many other systems are. They just ask the same questions and go through. We're more adaptive and dynamic. And of course, the biggest thing is we're looking at their emotions and their personality traits. That's our big differentiator. And we use that to a lesser degree, but we do use that, not only what they say, but how they say it. Did they say it with confidence? Were they unsure about something? Was there hesitation? So we could look at those, or maybe nervous, anxiety, and so on. So we could look at those little cues to also say, maybe we should ask this question, but in a slightly different way to go deeper. So that's what we do. That's different. So we Our conversational AI is driven on what the candidate says, but also on how they say it. And if we detect their personality, confidence, and other factors, we will ask further questions to make sure we understand who they are better.
So how can businesses use voice interfaces to improve customer experience, operational efficiency, and or team productivity?
So how do we improve the customer experience? So from a so when everyone so we have different players of the customer. One is the recruiter, the other is the company, and the third is the candidate. I'll start with the candidate just to it's easier to relate to. So the candidate is really, first of all, they could using an AI system like ours, and we're not the only ones out there with AI recruiting, but as mentioned earlier, with some benefits. We the candidate can take it any time at their convenience. They don't have to schedule. They want to do it at 10 at night, they could do it at that time. So it's convenient to the candidate. The other thing that I think is interesting, so I'm going to touch on it, is some people will say of the school, well, AI, it's not human. I want the human to be there. They're going to be more sensitive to my response. That's what we're trying to be, is we're trying to take the emotions to be more responsive. But the other part of it is others will say, I kind of like talking to the AI because it's not judging me. It's like, it's not saying I look like this, I'm
Yeah.
answering in a way that they don't like. It's just looking at how I'm answering. So you have different schools, but I think more and more people who are using AI to speak to, and there are many applications, are becoming more comfortable with it. For the recruiter, the benefit is one of the biggest things is there's the if you got many candidates and now you need to narrow it down. Well, that's a tedious job for a recruiter to do. They have to jump on a call, spend 15 minutes with a lot of candidates to start figuring out which of those shortlisting the first level of candidates. So that we can do, we do that for them, which means that the recruiter doesn't can now use their skills, their human skills, better further down and not on all the short calls that they have to make.
Mm.
So it's a better use of their time. It's not to say that we actually can do the full process of the hiring, from shortlisting to hard skill assessments, technical questions, different tiers, and also personality type questions like what they like. We can ask them what they're looking for in this new job. So we can do all of that, but I would say the recruiter can pick and choose. One of the biggest ones that recruiters are telling us is they would rather say I shortlist them so they don't have to make these 15-minute calls
Yeah.
to 50 or 100 people. And then ultimately the company benefits because they're getting a better qualified candidates.
Mhm.
They see them both from a technical standpoint, how well they match, and also from a personality standpoint, will they fit into their environment and work habits. So I think all in all, there's a benefit for all the parties.
Yeah, which is also in turn reducing that turnover rate, right? Yes. Absolutely.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
So what are the key technical and strategic factors that companies should be considering before implementing voice technology into their products or their workflows?
Well, there's definitely so I'm very much of the point, I want to just stress it, is I think we're still early in AI, so I don't want to say AI should take over everything and do it. We might get there, and I believe we will in many ways get there, but it's too early to make that shift yet. So I think right now it's an assistive or a co-pilot to recruiters or to companies even directly. It will shortlist, get you, and then they have to meet with the handful of the candidates to decide which ones they want to go with. So I think it's really more an assistive technology as it is today and not replacing. I hope I answered that.
It's great. So can you, in your view, how is voice AI evolving, and where do you see the next big breakthroughs happening in the next 2 to 3 years? Because like you said at the beginning, where we were a year ago is completely evolved. And it's definitely taken off in the last year, greater than it was a year ago. And AI is smarter, it's faster. So what do you see happening in the next 2 to 3?
Well, because it has a great cost saving, that's going to be a big factor. It saves time for the recruiters and the whole process. By doing that, it's also saving cost, even if it's doing a fraction of what the recruiters do. Well, that's costly, and so that's saving time. It's also fulfilling jobs much quicker. So it can AI and all the technology advances are making it much more adaptive to the demands. So, for example, maybe a year ago, we had fewer candidates before we got a hire. But in the last few months, because the markets are tighter, we're looking at more candidates before we decide which ones to go with. So if you had to hire and fire recruiters, that would be pretty hard and it's got its overhead and difficulty. Whereas with technology, it can be adaptive. So we use it more, we use it less, but we can adapt to it and the costs shift are much more in line with the demand. So that's a big change. So I think these factors are really driving the realization that this is a benefit to the overall cutting costs and a benefit. But I also think that, like any new technology, we need time to digest it, work with it, try it, see where it's good, see where it needs improvement. And that's a whole cycle. It's an iterative process. So we still have to go through a few of those cycles for everyone.
Adam, I'd like to switch gears a little bit and talk about visibility and marketing, because in order for a business to grow, we need to bring in revenue, right? You've been in business for 4 years, so you're growing. You're in that the stage of your growth. And so I just wanted to find out from you, like, how are you being seen by the HR companies? How are you getting in front of them? Visibility wise, what are some of the things you're doing? Marketing wise, what are some of the things that you're doing that's worked for you? And are there things that you've tried that haven't worked for you?
Yeah. Yes and yes. So, um, we changed our approach. What we did a lot in the beginning, like most startups, you try and work closely with a few companies that are your early adopters and working with it to learn from them and you want to work closely with them. So we've gone through that phase. Now we're at the point, like, how do we scale this up? So we've done uh, we've approached several organizations of recruiters that are forums where recruiters meet. We've identified, of course, hopefully next year we'll be participating in trade shows, conferences more, because that's a great place to meet recruiters. We haven't done that yet. And we we do a lot of what other companies do. You look at programs like Apollo to find your client profile, then search for a list. So we did cold emails. We did not have great success there, but we still, every so often, revisit it because that technology is also changing and improving with AI better. So we're revisiting. We're also we're becoming a little more clever with, so we don't only approach recruiters, we're starting to talk to some companies because some companies directly, they have an HR group department and they can hire. So we think that we can assist them with that hiring process and not so they don't have to go out to necessarily to recruiters. They've been doing it in-house and we could support that effort. The other thing we do is, we've run webinars that we show our product for recruiters. And we're starting with small companies and slowly we're going up to the medium and even to larger that are coming on our radar. But you have to be prepared as a small company. You have to have the proof of the value, how much money you've saved, and so on, to show them that this has value, so that the large companies will want to look into this technology. And so we're doing that. Our cost saving, I'll just say, is very huge. So we did some calculations, and there are no exact numbers, but we're about a 95% cost savings for what is traditional recruiting today, with completely human driven with
Yeah.
some technology. So it's a significant saving.
Yeah, that's a big savings. Yeah. So what are the big goals for you in Echo in the next 12 months?
So of course, our key area is in recruiting. We think we'll have a big impact here. A year ago, when we came to companies, voice, they were suspicious of how it works. Today, they don't even ask that. I will say very few ask it. So it's shifting. So we're going to continue with our HR, but there are many other areas that we have value. Basically, what we're saying is anywhere where AI wants to deal with humans better, we help the AI understand the human better and that communication. So I'll go just elaborate. So just as an extreme example, let's just say it's a 911 case or some urgent case, and the person is really stressed out, anxious, and needs help quickly. Now, an AI system today, they give great answers, but it wouldn't be sensitive to that person's situation. It doesn't want to hear a 3-minute solution. It wants a very simple, easy to digest solution. So that's where we can help and say to the AI, this person's stressed, they're under a lot of pressure, or they're angry, or whatever. This is the way you need to answer them. So that's just a very general high level, but that's the importance. We see very high level that we're the bridge between AI and humans. We help the both understand each other. We see it in call centers is a big area. We see it in any type of human interaction besides call centers. Doctor patient was how is the human feeling? How is the patient feeling? Quite often, a doctor and practitioner may not be sensitive to that condition. They're just looking at the hard facts and why they're there. So we bring that to it. Basically, call centers, sales deals of any type, meetings in companies, business meetings, determination of a project together. All of that, if we could understand who the players are and their sentiment and how they feel, we might know, well, how can we make this work?
Yeah.
So that's what I see as opportunities.
Thank you for sharing all of that. So I have two more questions for you. Is if I could give you a magic wand, Adam, if I could hand it to you and you can wave it over one challenge that you're having right now that might keep you from achieving your goals, and you can go poof and take it away, what would that be and why?
It's very tempted, but it's not. It's such a general idea. Is we're in the fundraising mode, so funds definitely help. Um, and it also it helps the company in operations. It gives us a little more flexibility, with takes some of the pressure off during this window, like where we're at, where we're looking for new clients. And it's especially as you go after larger clients, the cycle is longer. And so then we have a little bigger buffer for that. So that would be one. I think in terms of, and the other thing is, our other issue is that we see a lot of potential, but as a small company, you don't want to diversify too quickly. You want to keep focused, but also as you diversify, as the opportunity comes, those will bring new challenges for us. How do you find that it's a different market? How do you advertise? All of those, technically, it might not be so different, but in terms of marketing approach, it's very different. Advertising changes. So that's going to be the challenges for us. I think we could step with it, but we need the planning and infrastructure to look at how we grow and diversify into these other sectors. So the short answer, I guess, would be funds would help us
Yeah,
with some of that.
absolutely. So if we could revisit this conversation in a year, Adam, and bring you back, what does success look like for you in Echo?
Our traction is increasing, and I do see we should be a more diversified and interesting company coming. The opportunity is still there. In other words, there are very few players in that technology, so we have great opportunity. There's also a lot of learning in the collection of voice data and labeling of it. So we've been early in this field, which is positive for us. So I see a lot of different applications for us coming up, and maybe not a lot in the year, but we'll probably have one or two other very interesting areas that we'll be involved in a year's time.
Amazing. So Adam, can you share with people, our listeners, how they can connect with you and learn more about Aecho AI? And Echo is AECHO. So if you're listening, for you, those of you listening or watching us on YouTube, you can see that. But if you're listening to us, Echo is AECHO. And we're going to share with you, Adam's going to share with you how you can learn more.
Sure. So our main site is echo.ai, AECHO.ai. That's our main landing page. And if someone's interested in just our recruiting products and our work there, it's hr.echo.ai.
Okay.
So that's for that. And then we have a general info@echo.ai email for anyone. And then if anyone wants to contact me directly, they could email adam@echo.ai.
Perfect. And we have all of Adam's links and the website, all of that inside of the show notes. So if you're driving, don't worry, we've got you. Just come back and check the show notes. If you're watching us on YouTube right now and you're tuned into Adam and I, thank you so much. We're grateful you're here. You can see all of Adam's info. Click on those links, go connect with them. And also, there's another button to hit. It's called subscribe. And we would love for you to subscribe to the channel, because that allows us to ping you when we have more amazing guests like Adam here, sharing their wisdom, sharing their insights, so you can also grow your business. They're here spending their time with me to support you in your growth as well. And make sure you go check out Aecho AI. And you can go, that's Echo, AECHO.ai. And if you want the HR, go to the link, connect with also Adam on social. And if you're listening to us on your favorite podcast platform like Apple, Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, and you can leave a review, we would love it. We would be grateful for your review. Who knows? Maybe we'll read them coming up soon. That'll be a fun thing to do. Maybe we'll start doing that. but that helps us share this with more people. That helps these platforms push the podcast out to more people so we can help more businesses grow. That's my goal of this podcast, is to see more businesses flourish versus fail. And right now there's way more failing than making it. And we want to switch that. We want to flip that stat. And that's the goal of this. So Adam, I just want to say thank you for being here. I appreciate your time truly. For those of you listening, I did promise you a gift, and I'm going to give that to you right now. So if you've been trying to get visible and be seen by your ideal client, and you feel like you're not hitting those numbers, you're not hitting those goals the way you want to, we're as of the recording, we're 6 months into the year. By the time this comes out, we're probably going to be more into moving into third quarter. So you want to make sure that you're getting in front of your ideal client and you're hitting those targets that you have for yourself. Go grab our Spotlight to Scale blueprint. It's free. It's for you. And it's going to give you some strategies of getting visible and being seen. You can go to spotlighttoscale.com/blueprint to grab that. And again, the link's in the show notes as well. Adam, again, thank you so much for being here. Do you have anything that you want to share or say before we wrap up that I didn't get to ask you or we didn't touch on today?
The only thing, well, first of all, Heidi, thank you for this interview. I've enjoyed it, so I thank you very much. I would just encourage people to come to our website. We're doing some very interesting other work and projects that we've developed, and we will be coming out with some new things in the coming year. So I'd welcome people to check us out, because I think we have some noteworthy accomplishments that we'll be doing. I do want to do one little technical plug just to show what we've done. We have developed a fake voice AI detection technology, so we could detect whether you're using 11 Labs or any of the other AI voice generator. We can, with very high reliability, determine what's a real human, if it's the same human or not, and what's an AI voice generated. So we use that with our recruiter as an add-on, but we have other applications that will be
amazing. Yeah, definitely go check it out. Go check out Echo.ai, learn what they're up to, because again, like Adam said, AI is constantly evolving, and they are at the forefront of it. They're always in front of it, and they're evolving and growing as well. So check out the new things that they have going on. Keep going back, reach out to them, connect with them, see how they can help you with your company and your business become more efficient and less turnover, right? Get those people. One of the things I've heard from a lot of the people that I've had, a lot of the founders and CEOs that I've had on this podcast, many of them have, and I think it goes across the board, even sales teams leaders have said, culture is one of the biggest things that drive growth inside of a business, because your business can't grow without revenue. Revenue takes clients and customers, right? People have to buy your product and service, but it starts from within. It starts from within, having that good culture, having that strong core team, and Echo AI can help you create that and implement that and create that culture where the people inside are attracting the perfect ideal customer for you and help drive that revenue and that growth. So thank you again, Adam, for being here. It's been such a pleasure. Thank you for your time. Thank you all for listening to Adam and I, and we will see you on the next episode of the Business Growth Spotlight.